Welcome to lecture 2 video. In this video, I will solve a couple of problems from module 2. The first problem I want to solve is this one. Determining missing information using the accounting equation. Use your knowledge of accounting relations to complete the following table for Boatsman Company. Use a negative sign to indicate a net loss. We have 2 years of data, 2020 and 2019. In 2019, we don't know beginning retained earnings. We know net income, dividends, we don't know ending retained earnings. But in 2020, we have beginning retained earnings of $189,089. So this is also the ending retained earnings for 2019. So I'm going to copy this, put here. Now, we know that if we add net income and subtract dividends from beginning retained earnings, we'll get to ending retained earnings. In other words, beginning earnings plus net income minus dividends is equal to ending earnings. So we need to find out beginning retained earnings. I'll keep this variable on the left-hand side and take the remaining 2 variables to the right-hand side, which will change their signs. Minus net income and plus dividends. So our beginning retained earnings is equal to our ending retained earnings, which is 189,089. We will add the net income. We'll subtract the net income, 48,192. And then we'll add the dividends. So 15,060. So which will be $155,957. Copy this. And I'll paste here. Some formatting issues here. I'll leave it like this. Now in 2020, we don't know net income. We have to find out net income. So we can use the same equation. Now we'll keep net income on the left-hand side. So our net income is equal to ending earnings minus beginning retained earnings plus dividends. So which is equal to ending retained earnings for 2020 is 169,634, 169,634, and a beginning 189,089. plus dividends of 0. So which will be actually 169,634 minus 189,089. So 19,455 negative. Right? Negative. And that should make sense because your ending retained earnings is lower than the beginning retained earnings. So you must have lost money through net income. So that is it for this question. Let me move on to the next one. I would like to go over this question 10 in this document. Constructing and analyzing balance sheet amounts from incomplete data. Compute the missing balance sheet amounts for each of the 3 years shown. So you have to find out long-term assets here for 2013. We know the total assets, and total assets is equal to current assets plus long-term assets, right? So all we have to do, subtract the current assets from total assets. That is our long-term assets. Current liabilities, long-term liabilities, total liabilities. We also know that total liabilities is equal to current liabilities plus long-term liabilities. So again, all we need to do is subtract long-term liabilities from total liabilities to find out current liabilities. Let's do that. $7,498. Okay. Now in 2014, we need to find out total assets. We just need to add this two. $31,209. Total liabilities, we need to add current and long-term liabilities. $18,067 is our total liabilities. we have to find out current assets. We need to subtract long-term assets from total assets. $10,986. That is our current assets. We need to find out stockholders' equity. So another equation to remember is your total assets is equal to total liabilities plus stockholders' equity. So to find out the stockholders' equity, we need to subtract total liabilities from total assets. $32,718 is our total assets. $20,971 is our total liabilities. $11,747 is our stockholders' equity. Okay. So part B is asking us which of the following would be included amount 3M's current assets. Next to each item, select yes and no to indicate whether the item is a current asset or not. So this is fairly easy. Cash equivalents, it is a current assets. Property, no, because it is an asset, but it is a long-term asset. Inventory, yes. Accounts payable is a liability. Marketable securities, yes. Goodwill, it is an asset, but long-term asset. Accrued expenses, it is a liability, so no. Prepaid expenses, it is yes. For example, your advance payment for rent insurance. Part C, which of the following would be included among 3M's long-term assets? Property, plant, and equipment, yes. Accounts payable, it is a liability. Intangible assets, yes. Work in process, it is not a long-term assets. Goodwill, yes. Accrued expenses, it is a liability. Prepaid expenses, it is an asset, but current asset. So no. Long-term notes payable, no, it's a liability. That's it for this lecture video. I hope to see you in the next lecture video. You take care.